way, I'm thankful just to be from Kenya, because coming here, I was always, I feel like working harder than everyone else. Not that that's important. And in a way, now I can just finally look back and see that everything from the beginning is just paying off in terms of working hard, being grounded, having close friends that actually genuinely care about you and just genuinely want the best for you.
Hey Mir, thanks for being here, brother. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, man.
So, Mir, would you want to talk about the very beginning, like when it all first started, like day one, back in the community, how your family and friends were, just like the environment back at home?
So back at home, it was a very relaxed, I'd say friendly, and just a small community, I'd say. I grew up in Kenya, which is an East African country, a very low developed in terms of the economy and everything. It was just not the best, and that's something I realized when I came here.
So can you talk about like where that discipline came from?
Discipline mainly came from high school. So I actually went to boarding school from 7th grade, and one of the routines that we had was very structured, such that from 7th grade onwards we had to get up at a certain time and get things done at certain times. So I'd have to wake up every day at 5:30, and we'd have compulsory morning exercise, and then we'd have to be out of the dorms by 7. And breakfast would be served from 7 to 8. Classes start at 8 all the way till 3. After 3 you'd have like clubs, just like sports, training and stuff like that. And then we'd have our dinner at 6. And then from 7:30 on to 9 we'd have to study, and we'd have to be in bed by 10. So that was for the beginning of it. And then obviously when I went to 11th and 12th grade, it was somewhat similar, just that I'd get a lot less sleep, get like 5 hours a day, because just it was a lot was required in terms of academic requirements and stuff of that sort. But it was pretty much for 5 years getting up at like 5:30, going to bed at, let's say, 11 to midnight. So I've always been I've gotten used to that, and that way I've actually been very disciplined. I try to get things done at a certain time, and once I find a routine, I stick to it.
Can you talk about that first spark of when it was like, I want to do bodybuilding, like I love bodybuilding?
I guess, I mean, it may sound a bit cliche if I say this, but the first time I lifted weights, I was like, this is what I want to do, because it was crazy. I did arms, and my arms felt crazy. They felt like they were about to rip off. It was just tight, and I was like, okay, this is something I want to do.
Would you want to get into depth about that big dream and goal you had or have currently?
My current goal is obviously just to do the show and hopefully win juniors and novice. Novice is for everyone that's competing in that division for the first time. But I'd say my overall goal in life, something that I probably wouldn't be satisfied before I do it, is nothing related to bodybuilding. I've said this before, I've said this many times, and that is to reduce disparities, gender disparities in education and employment back at home in Kenya. That's something I've always wanted to do, so it's a very far-fetched goal. I am currently working on it. Some things that I'm doing, definitely. I'm not going to talk about it yet because it's just very low-key.
One last question I'll ask is, what or who is a big inspiration for you? If you can trickle it down or focus it into one thing or person.
2 people. My parents, obviously. I mean, obviously I look up to certain people that are, you know, artists in whatever they do, just masters in their discipline. Yeah, I do look up to those people, but people that genuinely have had an impact on me, my parents.
So Mir, I just want to thank you for what you're doing, man. You're not only improving yourself, but you're going to impact other people with what you're doing. You have grand ambitions, and you're taking the steps and actions to get there, like one thing I get from you is your extreme discipline. Like I take away a lot from that, and I extract a lot from what you do. I kind of stalk you in a way, and you teach me a lot. So I really appreciate what you're doing as a person, and I appreciate what you're doing now, and I can't wait to see the competition and see you place first.
Well, thank you for giving me the opportunity, man.